All right, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak, and today I'm here to talk about why I absolutely cannot get over the fact that Kirk Cousins went to Atlanta and why I am so excited about this as a football fan. But before we get into that, make sure to leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. You can always wait until the end of the video to leave a like, and hopefully I'll earn it. But yeah, let's get right into it. So, when you're talking about Kirk Cousins, or when specifically you're talking about the quarterback landscape of this free agency period, there were not a lot of exciting names. Like, I know there were guys like Jacoby Brissett, who just signed with New England, Gardner Minshew, who just signed with the Raiders. There's still guys out there like Drew Lock and Sam Darnold. And while all those guys are fine to fit a specific role, there was nobody available in free agency that was going to provide well established, above average quarterback play rather than Kirk Cousins. And to be completely honest, this Falcons team, it has way too many pieces to just pray that you can, not only move up and draft a quarterback, but if you were sitting at 8, you could not bank on taking J.J. McCarthy or Bo Nix or Michael Penix or anything like that. It would have been wildly early for any of them. But now you actually have the pieces in place to see what you can do on the offensive side of the ball. Because their defense, they came up big in a lot of games last year, but what let them down more than anything else was their offense. And yeah, Arthur Smith grossly mismanaged the offensive side of the ball, grossly mismanaged his personnel, grossly mismanaged, Kyle Pitts in general, and Drake London and Bijan Robinson. And there are a million examples of him just not being able to sit in the big chair of the NFL, not being mature enough to do so. But what I will say is that he did a good job of leaving this Falcons team in a good spot. And I always say the last piece of the puzzle should be a quarterback, because you don't want to draft a quarterback and have him behind a shitty offensive line. You don't want him to have no weapons to throw to. And now I know Atlanta's tackles really haven't played up to what they were supposed to be, but they do have some pieces there. They do have Lindstrom, and I know they just signed McGarry to the deal, and it hasn't been everything they'd hoped, but they at least have somewhat of a competent offensive line. Best run blocking line in the league 2 years ago. Now, when you think about the fact that they are now adding a quarterback that is not going to be Marcus Mariota, when you think about the fact that they're adding a quarterback that is going to be not Desmond Ridder, I'm really excited to see what happens with this team. And now I believe they are the division favorites in Vegas, and they should be. I'm completely, over the moon about this. I think, pairing Kirk Cousins up with a Shanahan disciple, he went from one Shanahan disciple in Kevin O'Connell to another in Zach Robinson. I think it's been an absolute home run. I wasn't really encouraged by the Raheem Morris hire, but at the same time, hopefully he's just more of a leader of men, and he can, figure out and follow the Texans' philosophy of, okay, we're probably just going to have to churn and burn competent offensive coordinators from the Shanahan tree. And yeah, but talking about Cousins in particular, I am really excited to see what he does in Atlanta, just because I feel like he has been shit on unfairly in NFL circles. I feel like he has been one of the most disrespected quarterbacks in the NFL over the past few years, only beside Dak. I think they're equally shit on, except Dak probably gets more hate for their shortcomings. And yes, both of those guys have shortcomings. Kirk Cousins isn't perfect. His record in primetime games speaks for itself, although it has gotten a little bit better the past couple of years. He has shown a propensity to win bigger games. For example, the one in Minnesota this past year against San Francisco on Monday Night Football when he didn't have Justin Jefferson. But yeah, so to be completely honest, when we talk about Kirk Cousins, I think this was probably the best signing that you could have made if you were Atlanta, because he is the only one who can provide you with well-established, above-average quarterback play. Were you going to get that in the draft at number 8? No, you weren't, because Daniels, May, and Williams will all be long, long gone by then. And could you take J.J. McCarthy and pray that he pans out? Sure, but that's not something you want to bank on. And now you have that number 8 overall pick to use as a chip. You can use it to improve the rest of your team. And this is why I always say quarterback should be the last piece of the puzzle for a team. And now there are no more excuses for why they're bad on offense. Now Drake London's finally going to get his chance to go ham. Now he's finally going to get his chance to be in a good situation. And I am just so happy that Atlanta did not get Fields above all else, because that would have been more misery for Bijan and Pitts and London. I know Pitts is kind of a wild card, but eventually he's got to live up to the hype of being the 4th overall pick in a stacked class and one of the best tight end prospects of all time. And Bijan Robinson is probably already one of the best running backs in the NFL. So I cannot wait to see what comes of this. I still think they need to add a receiver, because behind Drake London, they had what? Mac Hollins and I don't know, just a whole lot of nothing last year. But I'm just super, super, super excited to see what Atlanta is able to do with these picks. I'm super excited to see what they can do on the offensive side of the ball. I haven't even mentioned their defense yet, and their defense kept them in a lot of games last year. Still probably not that talented of a unit, but at the same time, they do have Bates, they do have Terrell, and yeah, I cannot wait for what Atlanta's going to do. And now this opens up the door for them to take a pass rusher. Now this opens up a door for them to maybe trade back a few picks and maybe snag a corner. I don't know, but I'm really excited about this move. I am so happy with the direction the Atlanta Falcons are going in as a football fan. And yeah, that is my take on Kirk Cousins to the Atlanta Falcons. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.